Hello and welcome to another update video about Mana. Here, quick update about Mana. Based on the elite wave count, two possibilities unfortunately at the moment in this yellow target range. So this is the range between the 88.7% and the 78.6% Fibonacci retracement level between 67 cents and $1.27 pretty much. So somewhere in here, ideally you would expect a coin or an asset in such a higher level correction as the crypto coins are at the moment to reverse back into an uptrend. Is it guaranteed? No, it is not, but it is likely. There are therefore two possibilities, and this is as long as we are not breaking above any substantial resistance levels here with volume. We still have to have in mind that this can do at any point another lower low. For now, the signs are not too bad, and to be honest, Mana makes a better impression than many other coins. So what you see here though is first of all the bearish count. Let's take a look at what makes the bearish count more likely, which would assume that from the high we came down in an ABC structure, and the C wave is subdividing into 5 waves, with the wave 3 here being the longest wave. And then there are, for the bearish alternative or bearish possibility, there are there's only one really at the moment. One key scenario I would be observing here, and that assumes that we are here in a triangle. Yeah, you can see the triangle anyway on the chart. It is from a traditional TA point of view. You could argue that this is a bearish pennant or a bear flag, some people might want to call it. And we are still in this triangle, and I showed you this triangle shape already in the last video. The price is still very much adhering to it very, very nicely. And then based on this Elliott wave triangle count, you would actually expect here an A, a B, a C, a D, and an E, which would suggest in one of the next moves we should break here to the downside if wave E is already finished. That would suggest when a triangle is finished, you normally see a strong move. In this case, that move would need to be to the downside, because an Elliott wave triangle normally breaks out to the downside. What would make this move very likely, and what would be the evidence that wave E is finished? Well, best evidence you get is a move below the wave D low at 80 cents, and confirmation would be a move below 72.5 cents. So these are the two support levels. A move above wave C would mean that triangle is not yet finished. It will have to do with an extended triangle, because the wave E cannot move above the wave C. If it does, it's not a wave E anymore. So in the bearish scenario, that would mean we would not have finished the wave C yet, and we will have to move the wave C out and the wave D and the wave E as well. So resistance wise, we should stay below $1.04. If we go above that 136 level here, that wave A high, then I would focus on the bullish scenario. The bearish scenario also gets more likely because we are still below the 50-day moving average, and so far price action is okay, but nothing too convincing. Okay, so this can very well still solve itself to the downside in a 5-wave move. And the key target for that, I mentioned it before, is the 38.5 cent level. Yeah, so this is what I'm looking at from a bearish point of view. From the bullish point of view, and what would need to happen to make that more likely, I'll tell you as well. From a bullish point of view, we have already seen the wave 5 here. So there are few ways how we could make that work. We could say, and this works. Yeah, we could count this as 5 waves and say this was wave 3, this 4, and 5 was this. And then we have seen already here, from a bullish point of view, a wave 1 up, a wave 2 down, and we would now be in wave 3, then 4 down and 5 up. But for that, price action just isn't very convincing yet. Do you see what I mean? It's not very convincing yet. This scenario here would get much more likely for me if we really make it above that $1.36 level. And we can also estimate or calculate a target for the wave 3. That would need to be at least $1.92. So it's a long way to go here, and that is how it's looking like here. I don't see at the moment the bullishness necessarily, even though that move from the low to the high of that what I have now labeled as wave 1 is quite strong, yeah, but what has then happened after the retracement is not yet convincing enough. If you now see a pump, maybe above the 50-day moving average, that will again make it more likely, but even then we would need to move from a smaller, no, we need to move above this level, the wave 1, which is 136. There's no way around it, and then we can go to 192 in a, here in a, was it 192? Yeah, in a wave 3, come down in a wave 4, move up in a wave 5. That would then be a first impulse, and we would then come down again in an ABC correction that anybody who missed it then could use again to get into Mana, invest into Decentraland if you're interested in that. And that's so far what needs to happen for each of these scenarios. I'm observing it very closely at the moment. We have to say that very openly. Both scenarios are very possible, but honestly, after an 80 to 90% drop, yes, even if we see another drop, we are very close to the low, I believe. Potential of another drop, yeah, in an extreme case would be 38 cents. So from now, that is still more than a 50% move down. But considering the whole journey that we've already made, it is not that much. And then the potential to the upside, I said that as well, in the next larger wave to the upside, if it is a new all-time high wave, the potential would be nearly $10. Yeah, you can see that here, $9.40, the 1.618 Fibonacci extension level, that would be pretty much a 10x from here, and that would be the minimum of that next all-time high wave. But to do that, we first of all need to make a new all-time high, and then this would be a realistic target for an all-time high. Again, how long that will take, I can't tell you. It could take it could last into the next halving cycle. Yeah, so it might take another couple of years maybe, or we'll see a rally sooner. This is unfortunately what we cannot say. It's certainly a longer term target, but maybe we'll see that sooner. It is very hard to say. Time wise, technical analysis cannot really give you a clue. Need to look at other things. For example, the halving cycle might be one possibility, but from a halving point of view, just because it happened a few times before, or every time so far after the halving, that Bitcoin made a new all-time high, it doesn't need to happen again, or it could happen earlier. Yeah, so there's nothing. It's one of these things when everybody's expecting it, it might actually happen sooner. So it remains interesting. Hopefully you liked the update about Mana. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then check out the channel membership, and please also follow us on Instagram and Twitter. You can find the links in the video description, and thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.